Right, so I thought today I'd talk about staying calm, the importance of it, and the importance of faith as well, and keeping faith, having faith in um, whatever you believe in, but something that allows you to understand that everything's going to be okay. Um, and also, don't sleep on religion as well, specifically when it comes to Christianity. Um, so, why is it beneficial to stay calm in pretty much all scenarios? Well, if you look at the wisdom throughout the ages, um, it doesn't really matter what you look at, whether it's philosophy, whether it's religion. The the whole point of it is essentially how do you manage, um, like why do you feel certain emotions and how do you manage certain emotions? You can either rationalize them away, or you can put your faith in a higher power to help shield you from the negativities of life, and there's plenty of them, and it's impossible to defend from 100% of the time. But you know, everyone knows that person that doesn't seem to worry about anything, and everything always seems to go smoothly for them. Um, and then everyone knows the other type of person that gets nervous about everything, and then the nerves kind of cause a self fulfilling prophecy and actually stimulate worse outcomes than what probably should have been, if that makes any sense. Um, and that basic outlook affects essentially pretty much every scenario in life that you'll come across. Um, whether it's trying to make money, whether it's trying to start a business, whether it's trying to get a girl, whether it's trying to do a sporting event or similar things, calmness always comes into play. And so does having faith that everything's going to be all right. I'd say the most important thing in life is actually having faith that everything's going to be okay. Um, if you go into Napoleon Hill's books, all he goes on about is faith. Essentially, anything that you've got fear and you've got faith. Anything that brings you fear, he believes is from the devil, and anything that brings you faith is essentially how God wants you to live. And you don't even need God in this scenario. You just need to do it for yourself, do it and try it for yourself, and you'll figure it out. That weirdly, when people talk about things like the law of attraction and all that kind of thing, I used to think was a total load of bullshit. But if you look at times where in your life, if you've had any successful times in your life whereby things seem to be going well, then you just need to think, how much effort was I putting in? Or was it just kind of flowing naturally to me? Did when you wanted that thing or something was going to happen and all you needed was this one thing, and then all of a sudden it just appeared. Someone was like, oh, don't worry, I'll help you with that. Or something just managed to hit. Or let's say a parent just randomly helped out. Or, something that like you didn't even try and it just appeared because that was the right path for you. Um, I really, I like in the times where I have been doing okay in life, it did seem to come effortlessly, absolutely effortlessly. Things just seemed to like fall into place, which was super super strange thinking about it, because there's a lot of people that just try going against the grain and just try really, really hard and put in all the effort in the world and then just get nowhere as well. So you need to kind of marry up the faith and the calmness alongside the trying hard, because it's like if you're on a path that has traction or a path that is uphill and icy, there's one that's going to be suitable for you, and if you try hard on a path that has traction, you're going to go really far. But if you try hard on a path that doesn't, well, you're just going to stay in the same spot, aren't you? And that's the whole point. Like, essentially, if you try and stay in a place of calm, all your decisions are now based off that too. So if you make a decision based off panic or fear, for example, then it's probably not the right thing, because the motivations are all wrong. And also, you get your higher self, that like inner knowledge, is almost contaminated through the subconscious of negativity. I know that sounds really, really, really weird to say, but just try it, or think back to times when you've made wrong decisions and think back to what was the motivation behind me doing that decision. Was it because I was jealous of someone else? Was it because I was angry about my current position? Was it because I was fearful of losing everything? All these things do affect your subconscious, and when your life is just effortlessly playing out for the positive, it's usually when you've got your subconscious on your side. Now, you can ask yourself, it depends on your belief system, but I personally believe that when your subconscious is on your side, you can actually communicate with the positive, higher aspect of consciousness, which is what I think a lot of people think is God and believe is God. Now, whether you think it's that or just literally just your subconscious, that's up to you. But if you go down the religious route, there's a lot of wisdom out there that can help guide you and actually better this aspect of your life. Because if you're thinking, your subconscious is picking up so many different kind of information pockets that you might not consciously be picking up, and you'll be taking that into account at all the time. So, like, if you're fearful, you might be thinking, okay, well, I'm scared of losing this, therefore, if I rationally think to do this, 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 and this, then I'm going to avoid losing all of those things. But actually, your rational brain has already been influenced by the subconscious, by the subconscious, like, eliminating certain actions just right from the get-go. So already you've been massively swayed by negativity. Where if you think of that calm guy, like the calm guy who's always cool and collected and confident and just seems to, let's say, have a punt at something, let's say just even a sporting event, the confident guy who just has a punt and then just does like the fluky catch. Or then there's a financial guy who just has a punt at business, or has a punt at doing let's say a conference, and just it seems to just flow because he's not fearful about what people are thinking about him and all that kind of jazz. Which way is it? Down there. Yeah, and you can also be like massively surprised by the momentum that it can bring to. So, there's the analogy of, have you seen the photo of the matchsticks like literally just the matchsticks that you can light fires with. And then there's like a chain of matchsticks and they're all on fire. And then there's one that's been taken away and it like stops that chain reaction. And that is essentially what you can do with like your will of choosing to keep calm. Not only does it help you not set a light, it also sets the next people. It also stops the next people from setting a light too. So if you're working in like a business or something, and there's like, let's say, a load of panic from the bottom, and that makes its way up to the key decision maker, then the whole business is going to be panicky. But let's say if you choose not to panic, stay rational, stay calm, encourage the key decision maker, if it's not you, or if it is you, then you've got more control over this, to just literally have faith that everything's going to be all right. And then think about times in the past where things have been dodgy and you've got through. It is literally miraculous how powerful this is. Like, it doesn't matter how bad you think things are, and it doesn't matter how bad you think the momentum is. You've just always got to have that. Look, just have that faith. And, if you've got that faith and then you go out on a walk, then you have a bit of a think what you're going to do from the outlook of things are going to be okay, then you're going to come to gut feelings. And then the gut feelings you might not want to do, but you know are the right thing. And if you're coming from a fearful place, you're more likely to ignore that gut feeling because you're scared. You're like, oh no, I need to protect this thing. And I know I should be doing this thing, but I need to protect it, so therefore I can't do this thing. And that's where the subconscious starts like influencing your decisions and your path. But if you're just calm and collected and you think, all right, I need to do this, there's no point being worried about it. I need to do it. And then you just do it, and then you just follow it, and then you start getting momentum, and then you look back and you think, oh my God, I'm glad I did this, because shortly after I did this happened, and that happened, or this happened, which means if I did that other thing, I would have been in a right load of bother. And what that tends to usually be is the subconscious has already calculated these things that are going to go wrong or potentially going to go wrong without you like even knowing that you've already calculated it. So it's pretty remarkable how powerful your subconscious actually is. And then you start thinking, okay, if you're not religious, how do you stay calm? Well, there's a load of philosophers. I recommend reading, when I say not religious, I mean if you're not Christian, how do you stay calm without having faith in God or whatever your God is, if it works for you? Look into Marcus Aurelius or the Stoics and look at how you can rationalize like not being worried about much. Like, you can go full nihilist, really, like the full nihilist, but you can either accept that philosophy and let it drive you crazy in the negative, or spur it onto the positive. Like, one of the things he says is, in 2,000 years, no one's going to remember you. No one's going to remember your offspring. No one's going to remember the historians 100 years later who were still logging your achievements. And if 2,000 years isn't long enough, in 10,000 years, the civilization you live in probably not even going to be there either. So, like, what is the point of being worried or fearful about anything? You might as well just live your life how you want to live it. Like you can let that get you depressed, or you can let that free you up a bit. It's a bit like it's like anything that can take the pressure off a little bit um, to you know just help you perform in a more calm manner. And the same comes to having options in life. If you've got no options in life, that's going to breed scarcity, which is going to breed the opposite of calm. But how do you get options? Well, you just literally create them. You create options just by pure effort. Like if it's for girls or anything like that, if you've got, let's say, one option, then you're going to be constantly worried about that one option. Is it going to work? Does she like me? All that kind of stuff. But if you've got multiple, it becomes less bothersome. It's the same with avenues of income. It's the same with like if you're negotiating, for example, if you want a deal to go through, or if you're looking at buying a house or something like that. If you've got more than one option, you can all of a sudden start even being the master on the chessboard. You can be the chess player rather than the pawn on the chessboard, and you can start saying, well, look, this house here has got this, and it's only the street opposite, and look, they've already accepted an offer on blah, 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 blah. Can you come down to blah, 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 blah? Because if not, you're going to lose me as a buyer. And then you start putting yourself in a stronger, more confident position. And all this literally comes from being in a place of calm and having options and having faith that everything's going to be okay. And then once you're on there, if you add to the fire gasoline through hard work and habit and momentum, it's when you can start building something real special. And it really doesn't matter what it is. If you're passionate about it and if your gut feeling's telling you to follow that, just follow it.